Hi there. In this video, I'd like to talk you through how to use Coherent to deploy rules logic. And this is actually probably our second most popular use case at Coherent for the insurance industry. And this may strike you as counterintuitive. You've probably seen plenty of raters in Excel, but have you ever seen a rules engine actually expressed in Excel? A lot of people haven't. So I'd like to talk you through some of the things that we see out in the wild that have been very successful when people are building rules engines in Excel. And what I've got open on the screen is a simple eligibility rules scenario with four rules down here at the bottom. And the whole idea is to just generate an accept, refer, decline decision. There's plenty of other rules out there that you could think of, like, I don't know, risk appetite rules or document generation rules, etc. But the first key to success here is to observe that any given rule is likely to be so simple that a 10-year-old could understand it, right? It's going to be an if then kind of statement and maybe some parent child relationships between one rule triggering and then another rule triggering, but pretty simple. Where it gets hard is when you've got hundreds of these things to manage, and all of a sudden now your CTO is lying awake at night wondering how in the world to manage all of them. Well, the first thing we recommend is carve out space in your workbook such that each tab is either a single rule or a tight little family of rules. That way, you get this big, wide canvas to express all the logic and to break it down into small cells as well. You don't end up with giant 50-line formulas at any point that you're scared to maintain. And going back to our output tab here, let me just kind of work our way backwards the way and show you how this model works. Right here in cell B18, we see our X output decision. This is the ultimate decision on whether or not this risk can proceed. And let's just trace precedence here. So we see that on the output tab, none of the work is getting done here. This is just a register, if you will, of all the other rules and their outputs that are coming back from other parts of the workbook. So it's a nice way to visualize what's going on. Now, we can see that rule 2 has triggered for some reason. So let's go into rule 2 and figure out what's going on. All right. Here's the final result down here. Rule 2 has triggered a reject. So again, let's trace the precedence. And now we see the section where all the work is being done. And this is actually pretty straightforward Excel work here. So look how simple these formulas are. Very simple little formulas. So you're breaking down all of the steps and then going from left to right and saying, did this trigger, did this trigger, did this trigger? And if anything triggered, then it returns a true in cell, well, it's column H, in this case, cell H7. So this is what triggered. And we can see it's because there's 6 sinkholes within however many miles, half a mile of this second location. You'll notice the inputs here, these location inputs, are just being ported in from the inputs tab. And we consider this another best practice. So put all the inputs in one tab just to keep everything neat and tidy. X input locations, and then the X input locations can be shipped to whatever part of your model needs to consume it. And so you'll see X input locations appear elsewhere in all these other rules. It's all just being ported over. So upshot of all this is that neat and tidiness in your Excel model is actually the key to success for managing hundreds and hundreds of simple rules. It's pretty straightforward, and we'd be happy to help coach you through your scenario. So give us a call. Thanks very much.